Ah, I got my claws in the ready to tear this film to shreds. Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Studios here, and welcome back to another video. And today, I am going to be doing a review. Oh no, scratched review. I meant to say a rant on X-Men Origins of Wolverine. Sorry, I mean X-Men Origins Disastrous Wolverine, or X-Men Disaster Wolverine. Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to call this movie, X-Men Disaster Wolverine. So X-Men Disaster Wolverine is the fourth entry in the Fox X-Men universe, and it serves as a prequel to Wolverine's character, and it came out in the year 2009, one of my favorite years in the 2000s, and is directed by Gavin Hood, the same director as a film that I actually really dug a lot, and find it to be extremely underrated, Ender's Game, which is a complete opposite of this film, and it stars Hugh Jackman, Liev Schreiber, Danny Houston, Lynn Collins, Kevin Durant, Dominic Monaghan, Taylor Kitsch, Daniel Henney, Ryan Wilson, will.i.am, Julia Blake, Max Cullen, Peter O'Brien, Aaron Jeffrey, Alice Parkinson, Philip A. Patterson, etc. And the film tells the unnecessary and unneeded origin story of how Wolverine, Wolverine's origin story. The film and it pretty much explores the relationship between Wolverine and his brother Sabretooth. I forgot his real name in this film, but who cares? So they start off as brothers. So apparently Wolverine already has claws as a child. So yeah, they didn't even bother explaining how Wolverine got his claws, and he pretty much ran off with his brother as a child after accidentally killing his father with his claws, and then they both fought together in wars one day until and then they were both recruited in this army led by William Stryker, who apparently wants to experiment mutants, but they're not aware that he's actually evil yet. But then Sabretooth actually betrays Wolverine. I forgot how exactly and what was his motivation, but he pretty much Sabretooth turns evil, and Wolverine is on a quest for revenge against him, and and then Wolverine apparently gets experimented on, and he runs away to, and not he's in the hiding, but then he finds out that Sabretooth, that Stryker is apparently experimenting on mutants to take their power to create a mutant that has all their powers combined, and Sabretooth is working with Stryker to kidnap the mutants, and so Wolverine will stop them, and yada 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 yada, and I know it's a Deadpool stuff. Yes guys, the time has come for July 2024, the month of Deadpool and Wolverine. We are so close. And my X-Men reviews have gone far enough already. I mean, I completed my reviews of the other X-Men films, the OG X-Men trilogy, the X-Men prequel/reboot series. Even though First Class is the only prequel, the only one I consider a prequel, Days of Future Past is something else, and Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix are the rebooted films. The New Mutant, which does not feel canon to X-Men, also X-Men 97, the Golden Show, which I think is tied with Logan as the best X-Men project. By the way, guys, go check out my X-Men 97 review. It sucks that non-pay subscribers are giving X-Men 97 any form of recognition. It's just this. I only had one comment who apparently went off topic. Jesus. And also my review for Electro, which it isn't X-Men, but I reviewed it because Electro is could be essential to the story in Deadpool Wolverine. So yeah, but now we are here in like the main event, pretty much the main part of my reviews, the center of all my reviews, my review marathon leading up to Deadpool Wolverine, the Wolverine solo trilogy, and Deadpool duology. So yeah, X Men: The Last Stand put the franchise into a bad shape after the massive successes of X Men and X2. Yeah, this franchise had something really going for it after The Last Stand. Yeah, this franchise was put into risk after. But considering that the Last Stand was meant to be the conclusion to the X Men franchise. Fox wanted to find different ways to make the X-Men stay strong. And so their idea was to make an Origins movie. So there's going to be a bunch of these X-Men Origins movies. There was an X-Men Origins Magneto plan, though, which got cancelled, which is sad because X-Men Origins Magneto would have been a great one. I mean, seeing Magneto suffering in World War II and going from like a tragic the origin of Magneto was so tragic I know I by the way, yeah, I actually already explained all of this in my X-Men First Class review, so I won't keep it like that. I'll keep it brief what I'm about to say, but yeah. So we could have had like so many of these X-Men Origins movies, X-Men Origins Storm, X-Men Origins Jean Grey, I guess X-Men Origins Cyclops, X-Men Origins Origins Rogue, those movies. X-Men Origins Beast, I guess X-Men Origins Gambit. There was actually supposed to be a Gambit movie, but then they canceled it and replaced it with Dark Phoenix. Yeah, all those things. But yeah, their first attempt at making an X-Men Origins movie is with X-Men Origins Wolverine, because Wolverine is the most popular X-Men character, so of course they had to start with the X-Men Origins Wolverine. Wasn't Wolverine's origin story already explained in X2? This movie was a total failure. I know this movie was a victim of the writer's strike back in the 2000s, which is worse than the one that happened last year. So no surprise this movie ended up being a disaster, but it could have been a cool idea until you realize, Wolverine already had his origin revealed in X2. What more can you say? But of course people wanted to see this one because Wolverine is the most popular X-Men character ever. Yeah. And this is actually one of the most negatively received X-Men films. Before Dark Phoenix came along, this was the most hated film in the X-Men franchise. But there are still some people I know who still think that this is the worst X-Men film. And to me personally, I never really considered this to be worse than Dark Phoenix. When Dark Phoenix came around, I called Dark Phoenix worse than Origins Wolverine. And then came the New Mutants, which in my rant of the New Mutants, I called that the worst X-Men film. But after rewatching X-Men Origins Wolverine for myself, I gotta say, oh dear, oh god, holy shit, man. You know what? I gotta say this right now. I'd like to owe the New Mutants an apology. Let me get this right out of the bat, straightforward, no hesitations. X-Men Origins Wolverine is the worst X-Men movie I have ever seen. It is the worst one. How have I not realized this before, that this is the worst one? I called Dark Phoenix and New Mutants the worst for the longest time, but now I can see this is the worst one. Like, seriously. How on earth has this movie become underhated all over the years? Back then, this movie was massively hated big time. Like, everybody hated this movie. but now that both Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants have come out, people have started to under hate this movie. People look back at this movie, realize, hey, it's not that bad, but no, it's worse. I feel like this is because of bias against recency, because the two latest X-Men movies, Dark Phoenix and the New Mutants, were considered worse. So much so that they decided to forgive this movie. Yeah. And people's defense towards this movie would be, oh, at least it's not an old movie. At least it's not an old. At least this is one of the older X-Men movies, not a recent one. My God, I am just sick to death of the modern movie, the recent movie hate. It's getting old now. Like the hate against recent movies. One day I'm gonna make a video in defense of modern movies, and why they don't deserve the hate. And yes, guys, and I gotta say this, guys, to be honest, there is nothing good about this movie. There is nothing I liked about this film. Yeah, I mean, at least yeah, this is the one X-Men movie I am gonna give my lowest rating. I'm already spoiling it, but I don't care. Yeah, at least the other two X-Men films that I despise have something worth of value. Like the New Mutants has Anya Taylor-Joy, and Dark Phoenix has Hans Zimmer's score. This has nothing I like. There's no good score like Dark Phoenix's score, composed by Hans Zimmer, and there's no actress that I have a crush on. Like Anya Taylor-Joy in New Mutants, and no good performances or solid characters here. As a result, this truly is the worst one. Yeah, there's nothing positive I have about this film. Now, first, let's talk about the things that most people I hear actually give credit for in this film. Yeah, Liev Schreiber's Sabretooth. Yeah, Sabretooth. I can see him being the most tolerable part of the movie. I do think that he is very tolerable, I guess, but he does not get a pass from me. Yeah, he is probably one of if not the most overrated X-Men characters ever. And you know what? I'm starting to realize now, I think I was too harsh on Sabretooth in the original X-Men film. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Sabretooth because I thought he was just there. I didn't mention Sabretooth in my review of X-Men, but I remember my good friend Harry Thomas's comment about Sabretooth being useless, and I replied, like, saying I agree with him that Sabretooth is useless, because initially I thought it was, but now I looking back at it, I think I like Sabretooth now. Oh, by the way, I if you're wondering, no, my rating did not go up. It's still a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, maybe I'm biased liking Sabretooth now because of just the fact that Sabretooth is going to be in X-Men in Deadpool Wolverine, as they showed it in one of the TV spots. And people are basically like, no, why there's Sabretooth? Why not Liev Schreiber's Sabretooth instead? No, guys, that is the Sabretooth that deserves to be showcased. Yeah, so that's why I kind of like Sabretooth and X-Men now. Maybe I'm biased because of Deadpool Wolverine, but then again, yeah. Well, oh boy, yeah. Sabretooth is still a very bad, like, terrible character. Like, just poorly written all around. And Liev Schreiber, terrible performance. Who agrees with me that he is far better as Kingpin in Spider-Verse? But oh man, yeah, where to start with this? Oh, I know. Let's talk about the horrendous CGI in this film. Oh my God, this has the worst CGI in a Marvel movie I have ever seen. Thankfully, though, it's not as bad as some of the worst CGI in a DC movie. Cuff Justice League. But for a Marvel movie, this has the ugliest one. Like the CGI on Wolverine's claws looks so unfinished. Like, and remember that scene in the film when Wolverine went into a stranger's house just to go in hiding, and he's like in his bathroom. And this was, by the way, after he was being experimented. He puts up his claws and he realized that his claws are new and quote unquote shiny, and then he just literally just tests it out like he pretends to like solidify his claws or like whatever. Like, oh my god, that's CGI on the claws. Blah, blah, blah. And it's not just that. I mean, pretty much in any of our Wolverine's claws that we see in this film, it looks terrible. Like, holy crap. I mean, the opening on Wolverine's hand when he when his claws when and he lets out his claws, like it's so fake, it's so obvious. You can see that it feels so robotic. Like throughout the film, throughout Wolverine's life in this universe, we've seen that Wolverine's claws coming off his hands, they actually feel like human, despite him being a mutant. They don't feel so robotic. And remember the scene in the Wolverine when that Japanese female character, I forgot the name, but anyway, at least I'm seeing rewatching the Wolverine tomorrow, so I'll talk more about that. But I'll talk briefly about this part. She was asking Wolverine, does it hurt when you let out your claws? And Wolverine replies, yeah, every time. Yeah, that's a sign showing that there is some realism to be found in Wolverine letting his claws out. But here, I mean, I don't think that Wolverine's hands would hurt. That, like, having these fake robotic looking claws that come out of his hands. It just looks so, yeah, my god. And there's this character named Blob or Blobby, whatever. He makes me wanna throw up. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, my god. He is one of the ugliest looking characters I have ever seen. I mean, it's not just the fact that he's fat, the fact that he's fat, but he just looks so fake. And yeah, I mean, if you want to make a new version of Blob MCU, cast Brendan Fraser as Blob, I would just say. But this version of Blob, oh my god, like why? And also, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, but Wolverine versus Blob might have to be the cringiest action scene ever put to film, and that is not exaggeration. And of course, the most infamous flaw with the film, X-Men fans love to point out the character assassination of Deadpool. Yeah, this movie's a butchering of Deadpool. Is actually why that Deadpool movie from 2016 was made. Because Ryan Reynolds wanted Fox to do Deadpool justice, but and the movie did him justice. So as you all know, Deadpool is supposed to talk too much, as that's his character. So suing his mouth literally destroys what makes Deadpool. Like, that is insulting. Not only that, but in the beginning of the movie, when Wade was introduced, he wasn't wearing that iconic Deadpool mask, but instead we had Ryan Reynolds playing himself. I mean, sure, yeah, that elevator scene when when Wade was talking, I mean, it did feel like Deadpool's character, but at the same time, you don't feel like he's Deadpool. You feel like, oh, he's just Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I guess Ryan Reynolds back in the day, with this and Green Lantern, yeah, I guess Ryan Reynolds is probably by far the most improved actor. Hugh Jackman's performance as Wolverine is so embarrassing because he is one of the most iconic casting choices ever put to a comic book film. Yeah, his performance fell so flat on his face in this one. Yeah, it's not good. I can't believe him saying that. It just pains me to say that Hugh Jackman gave a bad performance in the film. It's freaking Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. What on earth went wrong? Yeah. Also, yeah, this version of Stryker, he is nothing like the Stryker we saw in X2. He felt like just a regular human being. Because, just like Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson, Danny Houston was just playing himself instead of playing Stryker. Yeah, I get that Stryker was a regular human being, but Stryker was much more intimidating and threatening than that. That was not Stryker by any means. The action scenes are absolutely fucking abysmal with all the shaky cam and quick cut editing. The most common problems that can be found in an action film nowadays. The cinematography is also atrocious due to the typical 2000s bleak color grading, which makes the movie feel unwatchable. Yeah, and the storyline. Oh, the storyline is extremely boring. It's just about Wolverine trying to get revenge on Sabretooth, getting experimented by Stryker, and then running off from them. That's it. And apparently, Wolverine has this girlfriend who feels like an unnecessary and pointless addition to this universe. Plus, it was so obvious that she was going to die at the end because Wolverine was never shown with her in the previous X Men, in the main X Men films, and wasn't Wolverine in love with Jean Grey? You know, so yeah, yeah, that was one of the most predictable deaths I have ever seen in a film. And what's with the appearances from other mutants? Gambit tries way too hard to be a main character, but was ultimately extremely wasted. Cyclops and some of the other X-Men members felt shoehorned into this film. And oh boy, don't get me started on Charles Xavier rescuing those mutants to bring them to his mansion. Like, that felt like it could have been told in a different movie, you know? First Class. Yeah, First Class, yeah, oh boy. So yeah, so overall, X-Men Origins Wolverine is on the surface level beyond unnecessary and a total cash grab. But yeah, since we already learned about Wolverine's story, origins in X2, and so this felt like it was only made that just for the sake of money, just because people would go see this film because it has Wolverine, it's as Wolverine in it, and people just wanted a Wolverine movie. Like, James Mangold's Wolverine from the Japan one should have been the first one. Like, why not just make a Wolverine solo film going on a solo adventure? Why do we need this an origin story? And yeah, yeah, and plus it just really shows that it's unnecessary, as there wasn't much context put into it. Having a brotherhood rivalry relationship, like frenemy type, like where like they team up, they're close, break up, and become close again. That's a story that could have been told in another X-Men film. And same goes for mutants being experimented by Stryker and all that stuff. We don't need that. Actually, Wolverine being experimented by Stryker was like the only redeeming, was like the only storyline that mattered, despite still being butchered. The Charles trying to rescue the mutants and take them to their mansion should have been done in a prequel where about how the X-Men was formed, you know, First Class. But this movie just did it already. And yeah, but I didn't score. It's an absolute disaster of filmmaking with some of the ugliest looking visuals I have ever seen put to film. This isn't my top 10 worst comic book movies ever made list, and it would also be my third worst movie of 2009, behind Dragon Ball Evolution and Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. So yeah, I mean, since Gavin Hood made the Ender's Game, he's probably the most forgivable part of the movie, but otherwise, screw this movie. So with that said, I'm going to give X-Men Origins Wolverine half star out of 5. Garbage movie. Woo! Woo! That was much better. Yeah. Thank God I got this pile of garbage off my chest. Yeah, thank Jeebus. There is something I was supposed to say in this outro, but I kinda forgot. But if I remember suddenly, I'll probably post it in the comments below. So yeah. So also for my rant on Deadpool Wolverine. Oh yeah, now that for X-Men Origins Wolverine, my bad. Oh, now I remember what I was gonna say. By the way, I remember now. This actually would have been an extreme rant. Yeah, remember that I announced that I was going to start making adding an extreme rants and extreme epic rants on my videos. Well, I would say that this movie would have actually gotten an extreme rant. However, there's a certain movie that I want to start off with when it comes to my new extreme rants slash extreme epic rants on my channel. I want to start off with a movie that I know I will passionately hate, a new release. And you guys already know what movie I am talking about. Boy, I cannot wait to tear that movie to shreds. We'll see when I see that film. Hopefully, tomorrow I can get to watch it, but who knows. So yeah, anyways, What are your thoughts on X-Men Origins Wolverine? Would you agree with me that this is the worst X-Men film, or you don't think it's the worst X-Men film? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for either my review on the Wolverine or my extreme epic rant on that movie on a certain new release. It depends on when the movie comes online. Yeah, I am waiting for that movie to come online. I'm not sure when yet, but we'll see. So yeah, bye guys.